Good morning, students. The next topic is going to be autobiography. Okay, so the difference between biography and autobiography is simple. If an individual writes the life history of some other person, then it is called biography. If an individual writes his own life history, then it is called autobiography. And so, what are the features of it, and what are the great autobiographies in English literature? So, that's what we are going to study now. In an autobiography, the author writes the story of his own life and achievements. It is a successful presentation of personality. It takes its origin in the common human urge to express one's own life achievements in the form of writing. The writer may give a full account of his life in detail, or he may give only a few anecdotes or events from his life. The basic definition, that is, the author writes his own life achievements, and it is a human's desire to express his own achievements and what happened in his life. And at the same time, common people also want to know what happened in his life, that he himself narrate his own life incidents, and that is the main idea of autobiography. The writer may give full account of life in detail, or may give only few anecdotes or events from his life. Both are considered to be autobiographies. That is, the writer from his birth to almost to his death, when he narrates his life incidents, then it is that is also autobiography. And a writer may tell or narrate a few most important life incidents. That also considered to be autobiography. Okay, so both are a very detailed description of his life is also autobiography, or the most important events in his life is also an autobiography. And next paragraph, the great drawback of an autobiography is that it can never be complete, because it comes to an end before the author's death. So this is what I already told you, that is, autobiography cannot be completed. Okay, in case of biography, from his death and till his death, someone could narrate what happened in his life. But in case of autobiography, I cannot narrate my own death, how I died and what happened, and everything I cannot say. Say, for example, 60 or 70 plus itself, most of the people's eyesight, and they may have their own physical problem, health issues, and at that time they cannot write autobiography. Okay, so that is, a person's full life history cannot be said in an autobiography. Maybe half of his life incidents could be said in an autobiography. So this is one of the major drawbacks in an autobiography. But Dr. Johnson preferred autobiography to biography, saying that every man's life is best written by himself. The writer of his own life has the full knowledge of the truth, though sometimes he may disguise or suppress it in his writing. Dr. Johnson, that is Samuel Johnson, strongly says that autobiography is better than biography, because the person himself shares his own real emotions, but in case of biography, the person is observes, and then he narrates the incident to you. Therefore, it is always autobiography is better than biography. And even from the psychological viewpoint, also an autobiography is preferable because the writer knows what are motives, hopes, and ambitions that prompted him at the decisive moments in his life. So, even from psychological point of view, what made him to select this profession, and what made him to achieve this one, and what are the problems that he faces, obstacles he faces when he wants to achieve something. Everything could be narrated beautifully by the writer himself. And if someone observes another person's life and then narrates, it may not have the exact authentic feel or emotion. That's why biography is a product of second-hand knowledge. Autobiography is a product of first-hand experience. So this is the most important point. Always it is going to be autobiography is better than biography, because biography is second-hand knowledge, but autobiography is first-hand experience. R.L. Stevenson says there is no true sort of writing than what is found to be in autobiographies, and certainly none more entertaining. And R.L. Stevenson also says that autobiography alone can tell the exact truth. Okay, and if a person tells his own life history, then only it could be more entertaining as well. Okay, so on this for these reasons also, R.L. Stevenson also says that autobiography is better than biography. And moving to next paragraph, an autobiography is the candid narration of events in the author's life. It may take the form of confession, apology, self-scrutiny, or a mere delightful account. When it is a mere account of facts without reference to author's inner conflicts and motives, it is an objective autobiography. When an autobiography reveals a character and inner struggle, the writer and the present searching analysis of his moods, motive, and values, it is subjective. See, the author, if it is a good autobiography, the author should tell his emotions and motives, aims, and purpose. Everything should be said. But if the author doesn't tell these minute details, especially his inner conflict, but he simply presents what happened in his life, in a chronological way, and if he narrates what happened in his life, then it is called objective autobiography. Another type of autobiography called subjective autobiography, where the author tells his inner conflict, problems, and confusion in decision making, and what kind of embarrassing moment he faced. If he narrates in this way, then it is called subjective autobiography. So there are two autobiographies, one is subjective and subjective. St. Augustine's Confession, the earlier example of an autobiography, belongs to this subjective kind. So also Rousseau's Confession, written in the 18th century. Three other important autobiographies appeared in the 18th century, those of David Hume, Edward Gibbon, and Benjamin Franklin. St. Augustine's Confession and Rousseau's Confession belong to a subjective kind of autobiography, and the three other greatest autobiography in history of English literature is going to be David Hume, Edward Gibbon, and Benjamin Franklin are supposed to be the greatest autobiography in history of English literature. The chief characteristic of an autobiography are the following. So the other important characteristic features of an autobiography are the truth should be the hallmark of an autobiography. Facts should not be perverted. The true picture of writer's personality should emerge from autobiography. Gandhiji's autobiography is the best example in this respect. So, truth should be the most important feature in an autobiography, and he should not conceal anything. Everything he should boldly express it. Okay, so Gandhiji's autobiography is the best example of this respect. Okay, let me continue next video. Thank you.